north. It's time. It's Tony time, folks. Here he comes. Good morning, Senor Barbosa. How are you? Tudo bem?
Bom dia, bom dia. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it was an active chat this morning. I saw people are really, when you get gin and alcohol early in the morning, you get people go riled up, Carl.
Is that what's happening, do you think? They're having a quick one this morning, I think, before we've even got the day.
Yes, it's good. It's summer's almost over. The fall is right around the corner. So, people are looking forward to it.
Wow. Yes. Well, okay. We're not judging here, are we? And we do like a little bit of energy in the chat. So thank you for all of your comments, including Pete being in Y front heaven. Do people still wear Y fronts? I won't put you on the spot, Tony, and ask you that question. But there you go. There's the tone of the comments this morning. You mentioned the fall being just around the corner. Is that how it's feeling now, my friend, in the north of Portugal?
Yeah, it's great. The weather, I love fall. I love spring. I love fall. It's not too hot.
Right.
Summers here are not that hot anyway. They're a little more milder than the rest of Portugal. But like when you go to bed, you just don't have to turn on the air conditioning anymore. You know what I mean? Like you can leave the window open, that nice breeze and stuff. And we had a little bit of little rain yesterday. It's just takes the humidity off. So I love the fall. I love the fall. I love the winter. When you go to bed, you just want to snuggle up, put a little more extra blankets. I do miss that.
But Tony, you're just saying that it's not that it's a bit cooler. It doesn't get that hot in the north. And then you're saying it's time to turn the air conditioning off. It's all relative, isn't it? I mean, for people who, we've talked about this stereotyping of the north, haven't we? Oh, it's cold up there. It's cold, wet and windy. And you say it's not that warm, and of course it's not as warm as the south of Portugal, but you still get some high temperatures, and you have recently, and you've had wildfires up there, haven't you?
Yeah, and definitely it does get warm here. I mean, but not as warm. I mean, it's probably maybe if you go from here, like from the coast to Braga, okay, which is only maybe 30 minutes in, you could have a big temperature of 5-6 degrees easily, and then you would need air conditioning for sure. But the wildfires, they've been controlled, and I think Portugal definitely has gotten better in many things. It's gotten worse in others, but it's gotten better in others, and that's one of them.
That it's good to hear that, and that's reassuring, isn't it, to people who've seen these terrifying pictures from the summer, and more recently, I think in the last 2 or 3 weeks, the pictures of the wildfires and people sharing on social media have been a little bit. Well, not just a little bit. They have been terrifying, haven't they? It's always horrible to see when someone shows you a nighttime picture of glowing hills in the distance, or not so far away, in fact, as I was seeing at the weekend. But to reassure people around the world, the bomberos have improved greatly. Or maybe it's not them. We shouldn't say the bomberos have improved. The government have improved in their resourcing of the bomberos. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I would. That's probably right on the spot, especially with the means of prevent. Not only, I think fire. It's about all prevention first, right? So they've invested in that, in cleaning the hills, etc. So and so that's where they've been more effective. Because years ago, you got to remember there was no airplanes, helicopters, or nothing, and fires were pretty much non-existent or quickly put out. So the means of prevention, and of course, when you're investing quite a couple of millions on Canadair airplanes and helicopters and stuff. That's what's been significant. There's if you remember, well, I'm not sure if you were here back in, say, 2004, 2005. We had some really big fires in Portugal, right? And it was terrible. And we've gotten better since then. Not to take the conversation into the fires, but it's just to say that we've gotten better in a lot of things. That's one of them for sure.
Well, yeah, and it's good to report, isn't it? Because the way the human mind works, we see bad things and it affects us deeply, and we have to see many more good things to compensate for that in the way that the mind seems to work. So that's a reassuring message. It is a fact of life here. Let's not pretend it's not. Definitely a fact of life. There will be wildfires in Portugal. It's very unlikely that we'll ever see the end of that. But as you say, the prevention and the response has improved greatly since that awful wake-up call in 2017. So speaking of the summer giving way to fall, how has your summer been, Tony?
Terrible. It's like going out to lunch and dinner with friends every single day.
Every day. Oh, mate.
Busy with clients. Going to nightlife when you get home at 5 in the morning, you got to get up at 9. It's just terrible. It's a rough life. Believe me, not being a realtor is not easy, Carl.
So you're getting ready for a rest, which a well-deserved rest in the fall and the winter. Do you hibernate up there, Tony? Is that how it works? You're like full-on festa guy throughout the spring and summer, and a few more festas, it has to be said, in the fall as well. And then what, hibernation? Is that what people do in the north? They go to bed in just after Christmas and wake up again in March?
No, no. I've been on a permanent vacation for more than 22 years, so that's just the way it is. Do today. Why wait for tomorrow? So celebrate. No, but things tone down a little bit because maybe with the rain coming in and stuff, you're a little more indoors, but you still have lots of friends always throughout the whole year that come in. Just happens to be that in the month of August, there's quite a few more. Let's just say it triples or quadruples, but you still have lots of friends, even from realtors that come in and visit. I had a lot this year. Well, I get a lot every year, but more and more in this last couple of months, I've been getting a lot of realtor friends coming in for a couple of days and stopping by to visit. I love it, and they get to learn about the real estate market here too, and show them around a little bit. So being a little bit of a tour guide. And so in addition to your own family and friends, and so it's been a busy summer, but I love it because, you go, it's like, wow, it happened, like 2 months have gone by and, now the fall's coming in and it still keeps going and rocking. So no, there'll still be things to go out, new restaurants to discover, new places to see, houses to sell, friends to visit. So it doesn't stop, Carlito.
I'm so glad to hear that. What an enviable lifestyle. These agents, Tony, are they coming from? Are they local, domestic, or are they international agents that are coming and getting interested in the north?
International.
Really?
I'm all about global real estate. Global is the new local. Okay, and so from Canada, from the U.S., from the U.K., we had some from Colombia, Costa Rica. So we get a lot from everywhere, all over the world. And when you're an international, it's like me then if I'm going to be visiting those countries, I'm definitely going to meet up with a lot of other realtors as well there. And you build those relationships. And that's what real estate is all about, Carl. It's about building relationships, little to do with homes. And then because then we can refer. It is. Real estate is all about relationships and building that relationship with our fellow colleague. Because why? Then the same way, not only anyone that works with us can recommend us and refer us, but think about one of our colleagues that has a client of theirs that they want to recommend and somebody to trust to send. That's who we work with. So we definitely build that relationship. That's what real estate is about.
That's amazing. So you've got agents from Costa Rica coming to Portugal. See, the first time I heard people saying, I've moved here from South Africa, from New Zealand, from Mexico, you're thinking, wow, there's a lot of information in that people disclosing that, isn't there? That these are the great destinations of the upwardly mobile or the globally mobile people who follow the sort of nomad capitalist idea of go where you're treated best. And Portugal is well and truly on that list. I mean, Costa Rica, someone mentioned to me the other day, great place to go. You get treated well there as somebody who might want to be looking for a dream lifestyle. But you've got Costa Rican agents looking at Portugal now.
Yeah, Costa Rica, Panama. We had back in, I think it was in May or June. But we get that because a lot of them want to come to Europe, right?
Yeah.
They want to spend, 2 or 3 weeks in Europe. And even if they just stay here for a week, I make it a point to meet up with them and they want to get to know. They're coming on a holiday. And so we as global realtors, work and business or pleasure is the same, So,
I've seen the videos. It's like food, wine, and lovely houses and beautiful scenery. Like you say, it's a living hell.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Let's not write this summer off yet, though. September and autumn is very special here, says Pete. It's far more like a second spring. What looked like a desert blooms into life with fragrances and colors that enrich the body and soul. He should be writing copy for the Portuguese tourist board, shouldn't he? That is wonderful.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. And we might have a late summer, mightn't we? Because you get this feeling, and we've got it in San Martino at the moment. It's like all the people are going now. They're leaving the town. Kids have gone back to school. People are going back to work. And you think, well, that's it. It's definitely autumn. But you can get a second blast of summer. We when we first arrived here in September, We spent. It did go cold eventually, but we had a summer to ourselves on the beach here in San Martino de Porto. So I'm hoping for that again this year. What might be referred to as an Indian summer. I don't know if the Portuguese use that phrase. I don't. Is there a phrase for the second summer here in Portugal?
O verão de São Martinho.
No.
Yeah,
I should know that.
you
It's a
never heard of
Saint
that?
Martin. I have. You remind. It's a Saint Martin's summer, isn't it? Because it's the time of year going up into November where you might get better weather again. Oh, Saint Martin's summer. Fantastic.
And that's when you have the chestnuts, the roasted chestnuts, and o pé d'água. That's when they open up from the barrel, they're going to put the wine in the bottles. And so you have a little bit of the roasted chestnuts. It'll be at São Martinho, and usually, but the São Martinho, o verão do São Martinho, from leading up to that point in November before winter.
Yes, of course. Yeah, fantastic. Excellent to know. Right. The name of the show today, it's a bit of a clickbait attention grabber. Let's face it. What can you get for 230,000 euros in the Minho? We've got a little video to have a look at. So shall I play your video of your thought?
You can get two... well, actually 4 walls, and maybe if you're lucky, a window for 230 now in Portugal. That's what people have the idea that it's expensive, and it is. Portugal has become expensive, but here you can get 4 walls and 1 door and a window. That's minimum, and then but that's
and a few extras, as we're going to find out here.
And a few extras, maybe yeah.
So if you're not in the market to buy at 230k, you've also sent me a video of a beautiful house. I think we might have seen this beauty in previous conversations, but it's on the market now for on the rental market.
It's available for. Well, we had it rented for the summer, but it's a good property. We had it rented for the months of half of month of July and August. It was all rented for a summer rental, and so and up until the end of September, it's occupied. But in October, it's available, and it's a great property as well for anybody looking to discover the Minho. Rent first, don't buy unless you've been here for a couple of times in Portugal. Not only in the Minho, but Minho is specific because of the weather. Even Porto, figure it out if it's the right place. Always rent a property unless you've been here for a few months, a few times a year. You have friends. You know what the weather is like. You know what the country is like, and the people, the festivities, everything. Rent, get to know it, because then that way you're sure to see that that's where you want to call home. And so this property is in Viana do Castelo. There's no shortage of services there, and it's a good for the D7 visa, which most people probably take advantage of. And so and it's a great price of 1,500 euros. What can you get a rental like this kind of home? So definitely
you'll see that in a little while. Yeah, we've got a video of that. And before we go there, we've got this video. So what are we looking at here then for the purchase price of 230,000, Tony?
It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. It's the home is about 20 years old, but it's never been painted since then. It's impeccable. Okay, the quality of the construction. It was built in reinforced concrete, the whole house, right? So you don't have those little fissures and breakings in the walls or anything with the painting. There's no humidity points, nothing. It's all it's centrally heated, and it's 2 levels, where the ground level or the basement level is an open space garage with the full bathroom there, lots of space, and also storage. And then the first level, that's where you have the 3 bedrooms, one of them en suite, another full bath, huge Indian kitchen, nice family room, views to stand. But what's nice about this property and beautiful is the location. It sits in a high position, so you have a nice view over the rest of the valley into Valença. And it's got this beautiful, you'll see the video, but the exterior, like if you can imagine in the summer, you're having a barbecue, family, friends, the swimming pool, etc. You have almost 2,500 square meters of land, which is a little bit over half an acre, right? Half an acre of land with some fruit trees. You want to plant your own potatoes and little tomatoes in the garden. There's plenty of that. And there's a nice little place that has like your own little wooded forest, because it's 2,500 square meters. So you're in the heart of the Minho, especially in the valley of Valença do Minho, and easy from Porto is less than an hour. From Vigo Airport, where remember you can fly from Vigo to Stansted.
You told us about that, didn't you? What an incredible
30 minutes from Vigo. 30 minutes from Vigo, and you can fly from Vigo to Stansted in the UK. And so nicely located and ready to move in. It was a family that bought this property. They bought it with us. We have our track record. We don't list a lot of properties, Carl. We don't list a lot of properties. because we work mostly as buyer representatives, right? We work with other colleagues' listings or even for sale by owners, off-market properties. So we don't do a lot of listings. The listings we do are properties we've sold years ago. This is a family from the UK that they bought it. They used it, loved it. Now they're getting older. Their children want them back home. They used to come back and forth. They spent lots of great summers there. Beautiful memories they have, but now it's time to go. They're getting older. Their children want their parents closer to them. And so they decided, and it took a while. They've been probably for about 2 years deciding whether they're going to sell it or not, etc. So finally, and it takes time to make those decisions.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, if in a house with those sorts of memories, and if it's a beautiful house, it's going to be quite the process. But it is on the market now, and we're going to have
extremely tough, Carl, because they built these memories there, and they're happy, and they come before even now with Brexit and everything, so they're very limited on the time they could spend. But still, they still come and they visit, but now it's time to say goodbye. And but it took, it's a process. Even us listing the property took a while, talking with them all the time, and whenever they're ready, and it takes time. And now, they've come to the conclusion, and we're going to be starting to do viewings in October only. They're spending the holiday here. They're going to be leaving at the end of September, early October. So that's when we're going to start viewings. And we're going to schedule, it's an open house for professionals or even other clients. Anybody wants to see it. We're not going to do visits. I want to see it on a Wednesday, on a Thursday. No, we're going to schedule one day from that time to that time, visit. And I'm sure what's going to happen with this property. There's going to be not one person. And that's the difference between being a buyer agent. And we're not going to represent anybody on the buyer side. We can't. We're representing the listings, right? The listing side, working for the property owner. But you can damn sure that property is going to sell over $230K because of the amount of interest in the people. We already have scheduled that want to see the house. And because when these kind of properties at that priced, there's not one buyer, there's multiple buyers. And that's what happens here. Portugal is new to this multiple offer or multiple buyer situation. But guess what, Carl? It happens everywhere else in the world. And so when we represent the seller, I'm not looking to find that one buyer. I'm looking to find 10 buyers through other brokers and other professionals. Let them give those other 10 buyers the opportunity to see the property and make their offer. Hey, I want it. Maybe I'm willing to pay a little bit more than you. Hey, we'll take that. And that's what's going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have a look now at it, and you better put your contact details on the screen so that anyone who says
viewings after October, but we will not be able to represent you on the buyer side of the transaction. We're working with the listing, so if you don't have a buyer agent, I can recommend the buyer agent to represent you. We can't do it. You can never do both. It'd be a double agent, that doesn't work. So you have to, because you have to represent one. Who are you working for?
Totally get it. Yep, totally get it. I can't wait to see this place, and I'm sure others are equally keen. Let's roll VT and have a look at this beautiful property, €230,000 up there in the Minho.
Hey everyone, and so what can you get for €230,000 in Portugal? Well, just give you a little sneak peek of a property that will be coming on the market. It is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. It's 2 levels. On the ground floor, Casa do Minho, here in the Minho region of Portugal. And beautifully built and maintained. Looking for someone to give it new love. Family here is ready to move. And it has ground floor, open space garage, beautiful view here to the countryside where you have sitting out. I think you can imagine having a nice gin and tonic here. It's just a sneak peek of the interior. This home, and you can see, has not been painted in, it's about 20 years old. It's still in its original state. Great quality construction throughout. And yeah, this is just a little teaser. Definitely stay tuned for more details, but it is a property that will be coming on the market soon. A new family looking forward to giving it the same love as a family that has given it here now, that's lived there for 16 years in Portugal. It has grounds of about 3,000 square meters. Got your own little forest as well in the property. This is just, hey, if you want to do some gardening. Looking at the exterior, this is an old annex, been converted, or actually just renovated. The barbecue. Definitely here, traditional way of the beams are built. Again, quiet area in Valença do Minho. Just the back area of the facade of the home. Swimming pool with built-in jacuzzi. And it does have heated, it's a heated pool with solar panels for the water here. And yeah, more details to come. Property that will be available very soon. So this is what you can get for 230,000 euros in Portugal. Okay, well guys, have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend ahead. Okay, cheers.
Tony, we'll take that early greeting for a bon fin de semana there. But that is an absolute beauty, isn't it? I mean, I love that pool and the outdoor area there, which you would pay 230,000 for that alone. In my native UK, I think, and you get a house as well. What a lovely location, and I can see the family having a great time over the last couple of decades there. Absolutely beautiful. Well, your nearest town, how quick to get to civilization, so to speak? I mean, you know, you're paying for the seclusion there, but how quickly can you get to the shops and so on?
Well, in the village itself, walking distance to little mini markets and coffee shops, you're within a walking distance of probably two.
Cool.
But to Valença, which is the biggest town, is about 10 minutes away. But even before that, there's a lots of shops on the way. But Valença, the center, is about 10 minutes away. Vila Nova de Cerveira is about 15 minutes. Anybody familiar with that? Ponta de Lima is close by, but it's Dakota's also. It's right in the middle there. But the closest would be Valença, about less than 10 minutes away. But in the village itself, there's quite a few little coffee shops and little mini markets within walking distance.
Okay, that's superb.
And the neighbors there are fabulous. The neighbors, I remember specifically when this couple bought the property, they spent, I had authorization, of course, from the property owners at the time that they wanted to spend a day there. And that's what I say, rent the property or look at it.
Yeah,
and it was their first time. It was their first time ever when they came to Portugal and the experience. So they didn't know. And we visited about 3 or 4 other properties with them. And they fell in love with this property. And so they spent the whole day. And I said, you know what, here, the property owners have given me authorization to give you the keys, and you spend and you get to know the neighbors and everything. That's what they did. And that's what they fell in love with, was the neighbors, the quality, the friends that they built around there, because you're not secluded by any means. There's quite a few neighbors, but far away, but enough distance, privacy. But it made the difference for them was strictly about the neighbors. It really was. And they said, "Oh, can we spend the whole day?" I says, "Here you go. The keys are here. Spend the whole day." At the time, and they did, and they loved it.
That's incredible. We have 50 plus. I always get this round the wrong way. Solo 50 plus Portugal. Great to see you here today. Thank you for being here. And she says of you, I love Tony's integrity. I already had a teaser of this on Instagram. Such a dream. So she loves that place. And Antonio F is saying, if you trip on something, you fall into Spain. So you really are close to Spain there. Galiza, is that the next Spanish town on from Valencia? We might have a little bit of a freeze from Tony here. Remember, that is wonderful. Loves your integrity. Such a dream. And there's a question here, which I hope you can come back and address for us, Tony here. Tony wants to sell a la Americana, the American way. I mean, guilty as charged, right? And it's not a bad thing, is it, that some of the highly professional techniques, style, and integrity that Louise is referencing might come into the Portuguese real estate market.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure. I got cut off a little bit. Can you hear me now, Carl? It's okay.
Yeah, we've got you, Matt. Yeah. There you
You,
go.
you
Is this
know, you
comment
know,
here?
You know what it is? We have a lot. I mean, again, I spent 28 years in the US, and granted, I don't live there, but I still love the US. I'm proud to be an American. Many of the things, what I've learned and I've taken out of the US was the way to do business when you do and getting things done. And that's how we do it. And with as clear as transparent, yes, being, I think all real estate agents, we have some really great agents here in Portugal. We really do. So be very careful when you're working with one. Make sure that, that not only they're licensed or whatever, but I'm a broker, but most agents here are not. But it is about the transparency. When we're representing the seller or you're representing the buyer, you can't represent both. It's that simple. These things are put in place, and that all has to do with the National Association of Realtors, Carl, being a realtor. You can call yourself a realtor when you belong, when you're a member of the National Association of Realtors and you abide by a strict code of ethics. There's an exam. For it, because that's what it's about. It's that simple. Things are taken for granted. Sometimes we don't. So I've been doing business for more than 22 years living here with the mentality of an American. And it's that simple. And it's what's gotten me by, because I respond to emails. I answer calls.
What?
The simplest of things.
Coming over here with your American ways, answering emails on the phone. What are you talking?
It's that simple, but it really is. And
22, has it changed in that 22 years? It must have, right? I mean, you're seeing you've been working steadily, haven't you, over the last 22 years? And I think you're feeling this this hockey stick rise now, aren't you, so to speak?
Yeah, 22 years ago, speaking English was an extra bonus. Today, everybody speaks English, so you got to be more professional. What's your value proposition, right? What's your value proposition in the business? And that's what it's about. And that's helping people, serving people. People sometimes don't want to get caught up in renting properties because there's no money in it. That's very wrong. You help people, you serve. They're going to recommend you. We had someone. We're doing a deal now. And actually, when we work with this client, she didn't work with us, but we gave her the information. You give information, and people are going to remember that. Hey, then they make the mistake of not using us and then telling us we should have used you. You know what? We should have used you. And our friends are very happy they're using, because we get it done without any simple, everything is about keeping it simple, Carl. When somebody's moving, imagine from one little place to the other, it may be frustrating. Imagine moving to a different country. And I've been there, and a lot of our friends. And
yes, of course. Yeah, I think it's great to have that contrast, isn't it, of where you came from and what you intend to do here, and of course your Portuguese roots. Sorry to keep you, because I know we're now at 9:30. Mrs. M will be here breathing down my neck, which I quite like. To get on to the Barefoot broadcast at 10. But you mentioned there it's important to help people with rentals. And this is a fine example, isn't it? Are you all right for a few more minutes to have a look at this video and have a chat about it? Great. Okay, let's have a look at this then. This is Viana do Castelo, which is certainly, you helped put it on the map for this community. And here's a lovely rental property suitable for the D7 visa, and it will be available from October the 1st. Take a look at this.
Hello everyone, and well, coming soon for rent. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home here in Viana do Castelo. Great for the passive income visa, the D7 visa process, where you need a 1-year lease agreement, okay, to fulfill the requirements. We'll have a look inside. Great condition. It's going to be furnished as well, literally 5 minutes from the center of Viana do Castelo. It's got a great garden with a barbecue area. Centrally located, all services, right? I mean, this is in the center of practically Viana do Castelo. And rear of the house, you could see another entrance. It's got a garage, 3 levels. And downstairs you could see also it's a garage, but also family area. And so another patio here. And yeah, let's have a look inside. Again, 3 bedrooms, spacious, high ceilings, and it's been just completely painted inside. Again, high ceilings. Kitchen area, Lots of light. View to the garden. And you have here, well, this is a door that leads to downstairs in a basement. And again, for a garage and storage and a family room. This is one of the dining rooms, or you can make it into an office. Again, high ceilings, lots of light. And this is full bath downstairs, one of them, right? Again, it's 3 bedrooms, three baths, one is en suite. We'll go upstairs in a second, see the bedrooms. Sitting area. Again, lots of light, high ceilings. It's a century-old home, colonial style as well. Another area here for a dining area or lounge or office, library. Lots of light here. And so yeah, let's have a look upstairs and see the bedrooms. Again, 3 bedrooms. 1 bedroom is an ensuite and another full bath. You can see you have here, this is Santa Lucia. Okay, the Sacred Heart Church. Santa Lucia is on the top of Viana do Castelo. Nice view. And we'll start, here. 1 full bath. Another, this is the ensuite. Ensuite. And you have another bedroom. If you notice, all the bedrooms have 2 windows. So again, direct light. Just need to put the mattresses. And again, this will be fully furnished and ready to go on a year lease. And the value, 1,500 euros a month. It's a value here for this region. So coming soon, more details to come. Bye guys.
Superb. Look at this. Beautiful properties. Love Tony's approach to real estate. Thank you, Christina. Good to see you. And of course, Galicia is Galicia. Trip there, and or certainly in the first property, and you're in Spain, in Galicia, which is, I think people are very fond of. Ray also here this morning. We used to take our car on a drive on the ferry from Camina to La Guardia and spent great times in Bayona and beyond. That's also this Minho area that is coming to wider attention now, thanks to people like Tony, mainly to Tony, I think it has to be said. Very nice, lovely style of property. And a comparison in California, that would be 5,000 a month. Is that would you put it around there, Tony?
Yeah, maybe not 5,000, but about 3,500 to 4,000 for sure, without a doubt. Maybe more, depending if you're in the Hollywood Hills, maybe 20,000.
Oh, of course, yes, up there in the Bel Air, yeah.
Yeah, Bel Air.
How do people jump on this then? This is available from the 1st of October. How to take advantage of that?
Just reach out to us, because then if usually for this kind of property, you're going to need help with the D7 visa process, getting the NIF numbers, opening the bank account. So we have a relocation service for all that, and then getting the contracts prepared. But it's, if you're thinking of, if you're already living here and you don't need any of the that you already have the residency status, then it's a lot quicker, because most people, they're going to be they're looking now and they need the 1-year lease agreement, whether you have an appointment in sometime in November, December. So, but it's flexible, whether you start in October or November, because we can rent this property on a holiday basis as well. If it's not found in October, it's people that come in, they want to stay 2 weeks or a month to look at and discover the area. So that's another thing about this I always recommend. And even as I would say investment properties in that sense, Carl, somebody that's using it sporadically as a holiday property, etc. Hey, rent it out to other people that are going to be wanting to discover the area. So you have some income of it, and maintenance of the property, etc. And unless you don't, of course, if you have the financial means and you don't want anybody else using the property, but having a property empty for a while, hey, give it to us for about a month or two, and let people use it for that period of time. You remember, you can come for 90 days and explore on the Schengen visa, right? So you don't need, and I would recommend it, always recommend renting, exploring the area, the Minho, the Silver Coast, the Central, the Algarve. There's a special place for everyone. Even like Guardo, Viseu, in that area there. Hey, I like the colder weather, being off grid. So do that first. That's my
very good, great advice. Yeah, the base camp, a base camp idea. It's not that big a country by some people's standards. So yeah, get yourself a base camp and do exactly as Tony's saying, rent and have a look around and fall in love with that. Right, as Tony says again, there's somewhere for everybody here in Portugal. Tony, thank you so much. Always great fun talking to you. There's Tony's details there, infinite-solutions.pt if you want to get in touch about anything you've seen or anything else. And all these lovely testimonials that have come in spontaneously about your approach to real estate here, Tony. Looking forward to next month already. Have a great day. Back at the grindstone of food, drink, and hanging out and having fun with people. You take care and don't work too hard.